Time magazine published a report stating that Geller's feats could be replicated by an accomplished magician. It cast huge doubt over his supposed superhuman powers.
I would have rather said that it's real, but that didn't stop the TV shows. On the contrary, it catapulted me into huge recognition, not Time magazine itself, not everyone reads Time magazine, but what it did to radio stations and television stations, they all wanted to interview me.
In August 1973, Geller agreed to appear on America's highest-rated talk program, NBC's Johnny Carson Show. He was about to hit the big time.
The Johnny Carson Show was, it was built as like the most important show you are going to do, you know, and it's going to make you. So they already started instilling in his mind. So he was like, he's got to succeed and all that.
Nice to see you.
Thanks.
We have only met.
This scares me.
This scares you? Well, we just got some things together here.
Geller began by trying to douse for hidden water.
What I do now is try to have a sort of a feeling where the water is.
What Geller didn't realize was that before the show, Carson had consulted magician James Randi.
They put me in touch with the prop man by telephone, and from my home in New Jersey, I told him exactly what to do. I said, with the aluminum film cans, just coat the bottom of each can with rubber cement. That will mean that it can't move, because I had found that one way of doing this as a trick would be to hit the table in such a way that 9 of the cans would move differently than the one can would, and that would be the one that had the heavy object inside it.
If there's no feeling, then I can't do it.
I was watching it avidly at home, and he was so bad that I was embarrassed for him. Nothing worked. Nothing. Everything that he tried failed.
Okay, let me rest a little, all right?
All right.
I still recall Johnny Carson's eyes rolling heavenward at least 3 or 4 times during the show. Like that.
22 million viewers watched as Geller failed to detect the hidden water. He refused to try any telepathy, and when it came to spoons, all he could manage was a very slight bend. Geller claims that his powers do not always work, particularly in the presence of skeptics. Or perhaps it was Randi's intervention that led to his humiliating failure.
It was humiliating very much to sit on the show, knowing that the presenter is against me. Can you see?
Now where?
I knew that I felt the negativity. I mean, you could cut it with a knife. It was there. It was in the air.
Well, Uri, I don't want you to feel bad about this tonight. The monologue doesn't work every night either.
I was on like 22 minutes. It was very grueling and quite strange for me to sit there knowing that so many millions of people are out there watching and nothing was happening.
Geller had blown his big chance to take America. He needed another new audience. Geller came to Britain. It was the end of 1973 and the country was desperately in need of a beacon of sunshine.
We are limiting the use of electricity by almost all factories to 3 days a week.
Straight after the broadcast of the Miss World competition, Uri Geller was booked to make his first British TV appearance.
Let's ask him on. Ladies and gentlemen, Uri Geller.
After his humiliation in America, Geller was determined not to fail again.
What I will try to do first is the telepathy, and I understand there is a sealed drawing.
Can I explain about this?
Here.
This is a drawing that was done by one of our production assistants, and it's been sealed up like this, and I don't know what's in there, and Uri hasn't seen it until that moment.
Uri very determinedly singled me out and said that it had to be me who did it because I was the person with whom he had good vibes.
Just start concentrating wherever you are.
And he was constantly beside me in a very excited state, saying, "You've got to do it exactly like this, exactly like this." I went into a room behind the stage and I drew this very simple, clear picture of a boat because I was very keen on sailing, but I hadn't talked to Uri about that before.
I'm getting very simple triangle.
And there was absolutely nobody in the room with me when I did that. But the only thing that has always made me feel slightly uncomfortable since then,
Okay, it could be a tree.
was when I came out, there was Uri fussing about just outside the door.
It could be the top of the house.
He definitely wasn't in the room, and he definitely didn't see me do it.
Should we open it and
No,
see?
1 minute, wait.
But I wasn't quite sure why he was so close around.
I don't want to waste a lot of time on it. It could be a boat.
Here we are.
Got it.
I thought that it was a magnificent performance. It was either completely unexplainable or he was the most extraordinary performer.
Okay, there are some broken watches here.
Geller was winning over the audience. But on set, he was being scrutinised by a leading British scientist.
I'd heard about Geller that, well, on one side, he was remarkable. In fact, he could do some remarkable things. And the other side, he was a fraud. And so it was necessary for me to try to find out.
My God, Minute Hand has bent right angles to the...
What I saw was quite remarkable.
David, my work.
It's for, I wonder who...
It was a shock. And clearly I had to try to face up to it.
What do you think of what you've seen?
Well, what I've seen here surprises me extremely.
Look, it's becoming like plastic.
When I saw this happen, I can only say, wow, what is going on there?
Look, it's very...
It's against all my scientific understanding of the world. It shouldn't have happened.
It was an extraordinary performance. In front of millions of viewers, Geller had apparently demonstrated superhuman powers. By the following morning, he was headline news. Britain was entranced by this psychic performer. Geller was suddenly overwhelmed with invitations to perform in TV studios across the globe.
Please, if you can hear me, please draw it in your head, over and over and over.
Uri pyysi Annelia piirtämään sitä mielessään uudelleen, kertaamaan samaa kuviota ajatuksessa.
Yes!
The people want a glamorous character. They want some magic in their lives. Whether it's people who can raise the dead or cure people by remote control, they need some sort of a special person that they can latch onto. And that's what they found in Mr. Geller.
This was an elephant from front.
Uri Geller filled up the front pages of every newspaper around the world.
Vi ska träffa Uri Geller.
Germany, Scandinavia, the States, France, Spain, Portugal, everywhere was Geller mad. He was, for a period during the 70s, one of the most famous people in the world.
At the height of my fame, it was just fantastic. The feeling that everyone wants you, it's just something that makes you feel proud of what you have managed to achieve. Plus, all these huge celebrities who wanted to meet me. Tony Curtis. I've seen Tony Curtis only in movie theaters. He wants to meet me in the flesh. Elvis Presley. The people I go up with from magazines and pictures and newspapers, will I really meet them? Wait a minute, they want to meet me. It was unbelievable.